and welcome to my channel. Today I want to do something that Lilian Streicher did first and in her videos, and I linked this video that she did in the box below. She uses silicone stamps, paints them and puts them in the silicone mold and then pours resin over it. And I want to do that too. And ever since we're going on vacation next week, I thought for our mobile home, I do some traveling themed coasters. I take my mica powder now and I paint all those cameras and words like nice journey and let's fly and balloons and suitcases and stuff like that. I paint that with the mica powder and I will stick that into my coaster molds. If you already was trying to paint something with mica powder, you know that the powder goes everywhere. And this is like, oh, please, but there's no way around that. It took me quite a while and I will speed this up a little for y'all. Those stamps were sticking really hard on that plastic foil. I wish they would have stuck in the coaster mold as well. They're good, but they didn't. So I decided before I take everything that I painted on back off with my fingers to take them off first and then paint them and stick them in the silicone mold then like that. They go really easy off now. Here's me trying to figure out how the word's going to be when I stick them in that mold, because if I put them in the wrong way, then the words would be backwards. But I guess because it's the bottom of the coaster, they're gonna be coming out right. And if they're not, then yeah, well, lesson learned. Here I poured my first layer of resin in there, and as you can see, some of those stickers, they lift up, and yeah, I will be having seepage underneath and will have to deal with it when the resin is cured. And for coasters, I always weigh my resin because I want them to be all the same thickness. That's why I weigh every single layer that I make with those then. Now we have to let it cure and then we can pour the next layer. So I have kind of a color shift pigment powder, like mica powder, in my resin. It's like white with a hint of pink in there. So, like I said, I measured that it's equal in every coaster. It's 1 hour after pouring, and I came back in my studio and swirled the mica powder around in that mold because I wanted it to stay like that. If I did that earlier, it would have only pulled itself back to the middle and would look like the other ones there on the left. But I didn't want that. I wanted it to look like satin or something like that. So I did came back after an hour. Now it's demolding time and I'm taking my coasters off. And because I stirred in there a little bit, they have rather sharp edges. You just have to be careful taking them out of the mold then. I won't show you how I demolded all 4 of them because that's getting kind of boring. So now I got them out and the struggle begins. I tell you, those stamps I used, they must not have been 100% silicone because they were so stuck and they were so hard to get off. And I had a ton of seepage beneath those stickers, and the struggle is real. I tell you, it took me 2 hours to take those rubber stamps off, and I didn't really do a good job with that because I tore them up and I had to use some heavy machinery because otherwise I couldn't get it out. I used my knife, and this is the one that I really damaged so much that I couldn't use it anymore. Yeah, things like that happen sometimes. And yeah, Here you see me trying to drill out the stamps, and yeah, I just let you watch and be amazed what you need to do to get those things out. Finally, I got all of them out. Like I said, one of those coasters I couldn't use anymore. So I continued with the 3 of them. And I sanded the edges so they won't be so sharp anymore. I didn't like the way that looked already, so I took some silver glitter and I put some gloss varnish in there, just a little, to make like a little paste, as you can see. And I'm painting it where those stamps went. I didn't really use much. I just wanted this to have some a little more bling bling. That's why I used that. Here you see me taking some of the glitter back off because I want it to stick out. So I took the glitter off the raised parts of those stamps. So here I have liquid latex, and I want to do a flood coat on those coasters, and that's why I have to protect the back and put the liquid latex on top of it. I paint it and then I let it dry. I used quite a bit of the liquid latex because I wanted to cover the whole thing. I didn't want to do much more to those coasters as I already did because they went on my nerves, I can tell you. I let them dry in the back, and now I elevated them on some cups because I wanted to the resin, when it's flooded over the coaster, to be able to run down the coaster sides. And I filled those crevices now with a little bit of resin before I do the flood coat, but I don't let it dry in between. I had to change my workplace because on the spot where they were before, I didn't had enough space to do the flood coat because I had another project laying there. So as you can see, I put just a little on there, not much, and it doesn't make no sense covering the whole thing, like putting a ton of resin on top of them, because it will run anyways down. So I just pour a little on there and spread it out with my spatula, so most of it stays on top of the coasters. I smooth it all out and I put some more on top of it if it's needed, but you don't need a whole lot. I made about 1.5 ounces of resin for those 3 coasters, and it was way too much, so you probably need like about 1/3 ounce for each one. Now I'm taking my finger and making sure that the sides are covered as well in resin, and yeah, that's about it. Give them a quick torch, and the only thing that we have to do now is wait till they cured. So this is the one where I left the stamp in there because I didn't want to damage the whole thing like the other one. This is the one that you cannot use any longer. So I have to think about something to do with it. It's the next morning and my flat coat is dry now. And now I have to peel up the liquid latex to remove the drips. And you see, this is not really hard to do. Zoom you a little out. And I just take my fingernail and peel them off. And you see how easy that goes. And I've seen people on YouTube using, instead of liquid latex, like Elmer's school glue. They put it really thick on the back of it, let it dry, and it's just a little more difficult to remove than the liquid latex, but it works just as fine. It comes really easy off. On the rim I had a little bit of sharp edges and I just slightly file them away. Then I add some cushions, like little feet, to those coasters, and I paint the edges that I sanded off there with a marker in white, just to seal them off a little. And that's about it. We're done. Thanks for watching, and I hope you had a lot of fun just like me. If you like what I did, please subscribe to my channel or ring the bell or leave a thumbs up. I'd like that very much and it's very much appreciated. Until next time, bye bye!